I had a baby with a married man. I met this man in 2018 on a dating app, and we met in person for the first time in February. He came to my house, we hung out, whatever. And then, we just kind of started talking. February 20th, I got hit by a semi. It wasn't like a super big deal, but it did damage to my vehicle. I got hit by a semi. And he was supposed to come over that night and see me. He didn't show up. He came over the next night on the 21st. That is the night that I conceived my daughter. After that, there was a whole weekend that he did not talk to me. He didn't respond to any of my messages. He didn't talk to me. And come that next week, Monday morning, afternoon, whatever, he messaged me and told me that he had left his phone at work all weekend and he wasn't able to contact anybody. And that was a huge red flag to me, because nobody leaves their phone anywhere for a certain amount of time ever. So I stopped talking to this man. I deleted his messages and I didn't talk to him for 2 weeks. He begged me to talk to him and I wouldn't do it. After 2 weeks of him begging, I was like, okay, well, maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe, he really did leave his phone at work, which didn't make sense to me because he was a supervisor, so you have to have a phone. But again, me being me, I was just like, okay, maybe he wasn't lying. I had gone to the immediate care because I was having problems with my hip, and I got an x-ray. At the time, I didn't know I was pregnant. That was the day that I started talking to him again. The next day, I believe it was like a Thursday or something, he came over to my house and hung out. We talked, whatever. The next night was Friday, and we went out for my sister's birthday. During my sister's birthday party, we drank, we had fun, whatever. Eat afterwards. We were out late. So we come home and sleep about 4 hours and get up and we go to get our nails, me and my best friend, we go and get our nails and our feet done, get our nails and pedicures. And I had been feeling nauseous on and off, but I didn't think much about it because I had drank the night before. I was thinking it was just a hangover.
Though y'all just be going down the road and tearing down anything, bro. I'm convinced that dudes will just bust down any old thing that they can get their hands on. And that's aside from the fact that y'all not using protection, she not using protection, not requiring them to use protection, and y'all busting down polar bears raw and busting in them. Y'all some wild boys out here, bro. Honest to God. And I'm assuming that maybe she was dealing with a white man or something like that, but I'm reacting to this in real time. I'm not familiar with the ending of this story or anything like that, but this is wild. The fact that y'all are meeting these chicks on day naps, or y'all went over the house once you seen. Seriously? It must be fucking tough times. Must have been tough times. And then had the nerve to be calling and begging. I don't even believe this shit. Like I can't. You're not going to sell me on the idea that this is 100% true. There may be some truth to it. I'm sure that there's probably a 66% truth to it, but good God. And then embarrassing themselves. They don't mind getting on the internet and saying, listen, story time, bust down by a dude and one night stand, and he was, get the hell out of here, bro. And if these chicks can get a man to beg them, that's crazy to me.
So we didn't eat the most that day. Like, I don't know what happened. We just got busy doing stuff and we didn't end up eating. We ended up going to pick up her girls and took them to dinner. And when we got to dinner, I couldn't eat. I felt so sick. And I knew, like, part of me was like, if you eat, you'll feel better. So, I tried. I really tried. And at one point, like, I really thought that I was just going to get sick. So I stood in the bathroom for a long time. And I did end up getting sick, but I just felt awful. So we get in the car to head back. We were going to take the girls skating, and on the way that way, we decided to go to the Dollar Tree and get some pregnancy tests just to be safe because the way I was feeling.
Taking the girl skating? She already got kids?
And then we were going to go to my apartment and then take the girls skating. We get to my apartment, the girls stay downstairs, we get in the apartment, and she does the pregnancy test for me over on the counter, and we're sitting there, and she was like, oh, I think you're fine, I think it's negative, let's wait the whole 3 minutes. And she immediately says after that, oh, best friend, it is not negative. And I was mind blown. So I ended up messaging him and asking him to come over. I said my best friend was going to be there and he wouldn't come around if my friend was there or anybody. He didn't want to meet my friends or family. And again, red flag, but me being me, I love the red flags. Told her, like, hey, I really need to talk to him about this. Like, you're going to have to leave. And I felt really bad about that because she should have been able to be there.
What are y'all talking about red flags? Red flags went out the window when you let somebody that you didn't even know bust you down for a real one. And I'm questioning him as a red flag in his mind because why would you bust down?
So I told him to come over. He came over and I asked him, like, hey, do you want to be in a relationship with me? And he's like, yeah, of course I do. And I was like, all right. And I went to the bathroom and then I went and got the test because it was across the hall in my bedroom. And he's like, what's behind the back? And so I gave it to him and he's like, what's this? And I'm like, it's a pregnancy test. I'm pregnant. And he was like, oh, okay. Like, he didn't really react to it, like, at all. No anger, no sadness, no nothing. I mean, there was no reaction. He stayed and hung out and he kept asking me, like, did you think I was gonna be mad at you because you're pregnant? Like, I'm not mad at you. I'm like, okay, like, you can't really be mad at me anyways. But then he leaves and I have trouble getting a hold of him. And finally he's like, are you keeping it? He said, are you keeping it? And I said, yeah, that's my option. Like, there's no other options for me. I'm keeping the baby. And he's like, well, I just don't know if I want a relationship and a baby and da-da-da-da. And I was like, well, last night you were telling me you wanted to be with me.
Yo, imagine if you wind up becoming super successful as a person, as a human being, right? And then, you wind up having to go and bring your baby mama with you somewhere. And this is years later. And then
things kind of progress a little bit. Not really progress, but like he continues to come around. And then he came over one day and I seen that his name tag, because he wore his name tag, said a different name than what he actually is, than what he told me. Because when I met him online, he told me his name was Larry Jones. I'm not going to give his real name out here, but I seen his name tag and I'm like, that's not what you told me your name was. And he's like, oh, it's not my name tag, it's a buddy of mine. And I was like, your picture is on it. He's like, oh, well, that's what they call me because I look a lot like my uncle. Again, like, just making excuses. But I'm already pregnant at this point. Like, I just found out you lied to me about your place.
if you let a nigga named Larry Jones hit, oh man,
Of employment on top of the fact of your name. So I had gone to work and I was telling the ladies at work what was going on, and one of them's like, let's look him up online. So we look him up online and find out the name that I saw on the name tag wasn't the actual name, whatever. The first name was right, last name was wrong. But we find out who he is and we find a profile for him on Facebook. And it's just like the group that he sings with. Like, he's a Christian rapper, so it's kind of like a label, I guess, that...
This story's getting worse and worse. So she's pregnant by a Christian rapper. Yo, whoever this guy is, first of all, you're a bad man. You're a very, very bad man for taking this one down. You're a bad man for taking this polar bear down. That's number one. Number two, you being a Christian rapper. What an oxymoron. Number three, you're a bad man for taking this one down. Oh my God. Jesus.
Whatever. So when I get off work, I work at the jail, so I'm not able to look at my phone and look at Facebook and stuff. So when I get off work, I go out to my car and I'm looking through this label Facebook page, like looking at all his videos of him rapping and singing, and I'm like, okay, well, maybe he just really is busy doing stuff. So I click on this one video and I'm watching it, and it pops at the bottom like a comment that says, "That's my baby." And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But it was an older video, so I'm like, maybe it's an ex-girlfriend or a friend or something. I don't know. Me being me, click on the profile, and I see wedding pictures all over that page. I was like, ooh, okay, this is bad. So I call him 7 times and he does not answer, like back to back. So I text him and I'm like, hey, you should probably go ahead and just call me back. And he calls me, he's like, hey, what's up? And I said, so are you telling your wife or am I? And he's like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Are you telling your wife or am I? And he said, I'll take care of it. Like, that's my business. Don't worry about it. Everything will be fine. I'm sorry, like, whatever. So we get off the phone and he starts texting me. He's like, I really care about you. I'm really sorry all this happened. Like, I should have told you. Like, I'm really, really sorry. So he lied about his name. He lied about his everything but his birth date. He even told me he was divorced. And he was, but he got remarried. And so this is how I found out that I had a baby with a...
Yo, this is so crazy, man. Listen, let me know what y'all think inside of the comments. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon link is in the description. Teach Hanley 40% off your first order plus 20% off for life. Ugh.